Hi guys, welcome to GemmaBeaMakes. I'm Gemma and this is my crafty channel where I talk about all the things that I've been making over the past couple of weeks. This particular episode I've got some knitting and some spinning, lots of spinning, and some dyeing adventures and just like random woolly fibre adventures to talk to you about as well. So I've actually got lots and lots to talk to you about today. I spent like the past couple of weeks decorating my living room and doing some painting and painting canvases and some artwork to go on the walls. So I felt like I haven't actually done lots of crafts, but now that I've sat down and I've got everything out, actually I've got lots to talk to you about. So I'm going to jump straight in with a finished object. I don't know if you have noticed anything. This, guys, is the Corbis Sweater by Natasha Hornby, and I am absolutely in love with it. So I finished it on Friday. Today currently is Tuesday, the 20-something of March. No, it's February. Oh my god, it's February. So it's been 4 or 5 days since I finished the jumper. I have worn it every single day. It is comfy, it fits well. Yeah, let me tell you all about it. So I knit this, the yarn that I used is a super discount yarn that I found from Laxton's, and they had a sale table at Yarndale. Sorry, I couldn't put my teeth in then. It was super cheap. It was £2 a skein, and its fibre content is a wool, silk and alpaca. Now I don't really know the percentages because it really was just there was 3 different colours of this particular yarn. It was £2 a skein, and when it was gone, it was gone. But it's got it feels really soft. It's got a really nice drape to it. It is pilling, and it's got quite a halo to it as well. But that's like the alpaca fuzz, but it's really, really soft. So this pattern, I've got to say, is probably one of the most interesting knits that I've ever done. The construction of the jumper is brilliant. So let me show you a picture of the back, so the insert video of me. So it start off by casting on a few stitches in the middle of the back, and then you work outwards, increasing in a triangular shawl till you get like a triangle, and then you pick everything up in the round and you knit the whole thing in the round, well, the whole yoke in the round. But instead of increasing like every, I don't know, 3 or 4 stitches, however, you only do it on the middle and the shoulder. So it's 4 places, so essentially you're kind of making a big square, and then you kind of fill in all the gaps. So you've got a big square on your needles from here to here, and then you split it into so many needles. That bit of the pattern did get me a little bit, but you know, you just follow it step by step and, you know, do every little thing as she says it, and it works out perfectly. And then you short row shape, like the filling in the bits, and then you finally pick it up and work it in the round. Absolutely fabulous. I really, really enjoyed it. And the underarm, I'm going to show you armpit now. After wearing this jumper for like 5 days, it needs a wash. I'm sorry, I really should not have done this. Anyway, so my armpit, I don't know if you can see there. So you kind of pick up the stitches here. I can't remember how many it is now. It's about 12 or something. And then you short row shape and decrease at the same time, and it makes like, it's so neat and tidy. Well, it was, and to tell you the truth, I didn't even block the jumper. I haven't even blocked it. This is pre-blocking, so I haven't even washed it or anything. I just, as soon as I finished it, I wore it every single day. So yeah, so it creates this like really neat underarm. One of them's better than the other. I can't really, yeah. So yeah, it's just a really neat thing. And then, yeah, like I say, and it just fits really nice. The bin men are here now. We'll have a little backup introduction. But yeah, so the last time I spoke to you guys, I didn't really know much about the pattern. I'd seen it on Instagram, I think, and I knew I had this really drapey yarn that I wanted to fit the pattern to the yarn. Are they really loud? Anyway, I'm going to carry on talking. All right. Yeah, I just wanted to match my yarn to a nice drapey. I knew I wanted a lace yoke, or at least a lacy pattern on top. And I thought this would really fit at the same time. There was another couple of jumpers by somebody on Instagram. I think they're called Valentina Knits, and they are also beautiful, beautiful patterns. I will leave a link down below to their Instagram. I'm sure that they're on Ravelry. They're all the places that knitwear designers are, but I've just recently found her and I think they're absolutely beautiful. So and then it wasn't until I was halfway through the pattern, I was catching up on a few of the podcasts here on YouTube, and I watched one of Fruity Knitting. Andrea's knit this jumper as well, and I don't know about you guys, but I feel like Andrea is like the top tier of knitters. If you want a professional knitter, you go to Andrea. If you just want somebody who's just going to cast something on you, come to me. But yeah, she's got a really nice video. Again, I will link it down below, explaining how the construction of this jumper and what yarns to choose and things like that. But yeah, really, really, really fun knit. And it took brain power. So it's not. I said it's not one to watch TV while you're doing it, but actually once you've got the knack of what you're doing, the pattern is very intuitive, and you can knit away. It's got a really nice rhythm to it. Like, so you've got a basket weave that's, it's knit 2, knit 3, purl 4 or something like that, I think. Maybe purl 5. Anyway, but very intuitive. You do have to keep looking at your pattern, but once you're on a roll, it's very easy to do. The pattern on the front here is around the yoke, the lace yoke, is really, really cute. There's a few little bobbles on the centre of the thing, and everything else is kind of like twisted, like one stitch cables that you can do without the cable needle. You get that little knack of twisting them on your needle, and it all went really, really quick. Saying really, really quick, it wasn't really, really quick, but every bit of it was fun. I always find that once I do it, because I tend to knit my jumpers in a top down, in the round, and I always really enjoy the yoke until I've split for the sleeves, and then I find the body and the sleeves a little bit of a slog, whereas this had a different part to it every way, and the part that's in the round is actually not that long, but still long enough to give it a little bit of, oh yeah, this is nice TV knitting now. You know what I mean? But yeah, that is everything that I think I can think to tell you. What did I do? Oh, I did want to tell you something. In the pattern, it doesn't give you a certain bind off, how to cast off your stitches. It just says bind off in a stretchy way, or however you want it to do. So I did the sleeves, and they've quite flared. I did want an extra stretchy bind off, because I've got one jumper that's quite tight and I can't do my sleeves like this, and it winds me up something chronic. So I made sure that I knew that I could pull my sleeves up over my arms, especially when it's like, when you're washing your pots or whatever. So I did the cast off as a kind of a crossover between, I don't know what they're all called, but on my knit, because it's a knit 1, purl 1 rib, on my knit stitches I would knit 2 together as the bind off, and on my purl stitches I would pull the stitch over the top. So it kind of give it a half and half. So I think it's a Jenny stretchy bind off, but that one super flares. But when it's a knit 1, purl 1, I like to just swap it about. I know there's some of you do that too. I've seen that some of you do that too. But yeah, it flared out a little bit and I didn't really like it. So when it came to doing the neck, I wanted it to sit like flush against my neck. So you do the whole jumper. Oh, I've got fluff up my nose. You knit the whole jumper, and then the last thing you do is you pick up stitches on the neck and knit a 1x1 rib here. So on this bind off, I did a tubular bind off, which is very much like, if you've done it before, it's very much like a Kitchener. So you pull out a nice long bit of yarn from the end, pop it onto a needle, and you sew the cast off. And I think it worked out really, really well, apart from this one little bit here where I didn't realise I must have been going this way. So when it's got to here, it's changed from a knit one, purl one, and I got the pattern in the wrong way for about this much. But I did not have a clue how to go undo it because it was a random bind off that I've only ever done once before, and I couldn't work out how to unpick it to then bind it off again. So I've just left it. There's only me and you that would ever know that that's different. But yeah, I'm happy with how it all sits, and it goes up my back. Oh, so you've already seen the picture. But I'm happy with how much it goes up my neck. It's really, really comfortable. So normally, again, my other jumpers that I've knit in the past that have all been in the round, I've got really wide, not all of them, but they tend to fall down my neck as much as they do at the front, and I just love the fact that this is all the way up and it's warm. And anyway, I really do need to stop going on about it, but if you are looking for a little bit of a challenge, I don't think I could recommend this enough. It was absolutely fabulous to knit. 10 out of 10. So I'm doing now, I'm rating things. So yeah, but that's all my finished objects in knitting. So this is the one project that I've been working on. I've been a very monogamous knitter at the minute, and I don't have any other projects on the go. I have one pair of socks that I have knit and pulled out and knit and pulled out 3 times because I didn't like the pattern, but the yarn is really nice. In fact, I'll show you them. Let me get them. So this is my my other whip that I had on the go at the same time, and this is how far I keep getting with the socks, and then I'm just not working on them. I don't know what it is about socks at the minute, but I'm just not feeling them. I don't know if it's because I was just really enjoying knitting on the jumper, and I just need to get back into it, but I really like this yarn. So this yarn is from Dina's Home of Crafts. From Dina. And the yarn's absolutely fabulous, and it came as a Halloween kit. And I got it for my birthday last year or the year before that, and I really wanted to use it. Now the yarn is knitting up really, really nicely, but I just can't agree on the pattern. So I started doing like a pumpkin pattern I'd found on Ravelry, and it came with this really cute cuff. So I'll pop the name of the pattern on screen, but yeah, it just had that little detail of the cuff, and then it had little pumpkins on the yarn. I thought it was quite fitting, but I got halfway down them and realised I'd done them wrong, and it wasn't the pattern's fault, but I had not read the pattern properly, and I really didn't like it, so I pulled it all out, and I wasn't in the mood for starting that particular pattern again. It was quite fiddly. There was quite a lot to it, and I already had fiddly. I just wanted normal, just a stockinette. So I started doing the stockinette, just a normal knit stitch, and the yarn is working up really nicely, but I just think it needs more. I wanted them to be like a cool Halloween sock, and yeah, I just don't think doing the stockinette is going to give it justice. I think I need to have a little look at some proper sock patterns for that yarn. There is only one more project that I've been working on at the minute, and that is kept in my Mrs. Brown bags, and it is just a headband. So I had a crazy complicated jumper that was going on, and I needed an out and about project to do. So this is just going to be a headband, just for me, just for when I'm doing that school mum run and my hair is still scraped up and I can't have my hat on. It's cold outside at the minute. I have a couple of these headbands, but they're starting to get a bit tatty and ratty because I do wear them a lot. So this is, this yarn is the Long Avec Anna yarn. I don't have the, oh, I'm really annoyed. Sorry, I don't have the ball band to show you, but it is 2 balls in one. So I've actually knit this headband once already, and I made it really too wide, like quite a lot too wide, about 40 stitches too wide. And I didn't really pay attention to how wide it was until I got all the way to the end and used up all of my yarn, and it didn't fit around my head. So I really lost at yarn chicken. But because all I've done is I pulled it all out and wound it into one big ball. So there's a strand of mohair and a strand of merino in there. And then I just cast on, I think, 70 stitches on 3.75 needles, and just knit in the round, and it just creates this really warm, fuzzy fabric. So yeah, like I say, 40 stitches less, I will definitely be able to get a headband that will go around my head. I think once I get to the other side, I'll pick up some stitches on this side and then kitchener them together. Yeah, so that's been my TV knitting since I finished my jumper. But that is everything that I've been working on. So I spoke to you guys in the last episode about setting some goals for myself. Now, I don't, so it is right, as soon as you set some goals out for yourself, then you're never going to do them, ever. But I really want to try this year. So what I have done for my next, I'm going to show you. I pulled out this giant bag of my very first hand spun yarn. So these were knit into 2 real big shawls. In fact, let me get under here because I've still got one of them. And I kind of crocheted, I'm not knitting them all, the crocheted shawls, and I crocheted them in, I had 2 of these. So this is the Stash of Shells. It was a mystery crochet along by the Crochet Project, and I knit, it's absolutely massive. It's huge how this worked up. These were all my very first hand spun yarns, and this one I always remember. So I never wear this. I never wore it. It was too big. It was too colourful. It never kind of went with my clothes. But also this particular yarn here was supposed to be a really luxury fibre. It's like camel silk and something or other. But it is, oh my God, it's goddamn itchy. It is so itchy. And in the pattern, it tells you where to put the main feature yarn. And I just wanted this one because it was supposed to be this lovely luxury, and it was wonderful to spin, and it feels so soft on your hands. But as soon as it's around your chin, it writhes at me. So I never wore it. I tried to I crocheted it together with another one. I crocheted another one thinking I'm going to link them all together. But anyway, it just turned out a real big mess. And I thought it was such a waste of all of my yarn. So what I've been doing over the past couple of nights is pulling it all back out. So I've got one left. So I had another one, I pulled all that one out, and then I'd crocheted them together and put a load of like filler and more triangles and tried to do a pattern that just went really badly. And you guys never saw it because it was that bad. But yeah, like so this one, this yellow one, was my first ever spun on a yarn spindle. I think it was a spindle spun. It was the first time I'd ever spun anything. So yeah, this one was fun. So I'm getting, oh, it's so up my nose. Oh guys, I'm not kidding. So I'm pulling all this fibre out so I can have all my yarn back. I have never sneezed so much in my life. There was so much fibre up my nose. Genuinely, I had to go put a 10 on. So it was part of my goal. My next project is going to be all of this yarn, and I'm going to knit myself a big garter squish blanket. I'm going to try, so there's a lot, because these are so different, they're all so different weights. They're this one is probably one of the thickest, this one is probably one of the thickest, which is like I'd say worsted weight. I want that kind of worsted weight feel, so what I'm going to do, I think, is hold a lot of them double together. So there's a random blue here and a random kind of grey, so I'll hold these together to try and get a nice big squish of a blanket. The colours are going to be so random. I don't quite know how I'm going to sort the colours out yet. I don't know if I'm just going to go in and dive in there and just not care about the randomness. I don't know if I can do that, you know. I can't put them all into a big fade because they're so weird, and I want to be able to like get more from other places. I've got lots of random bits of hand spun everywhere that I want to be able to put into this really, I want to be able to take it camping with me. So really big, squishy, warm, woolly blanket. I think I might just embrace the crazy and just dig my hand in, and whatever I get, and knit it till it's gone, and then do it again. Or I might try and do at least the next colour slightly goes with the first colour, like just have a little rifle around and say, well, like on the top here, I've got, say I really want to start with the very first yellow, because very first hand spun will start the blanket. So maybe this might go next, or this, because it's got a thing, and then this, and then this, and then this. So yeah, do you know what I mean? Just try and at least have them flow into each other a little bit, rather than still going camping. It's a very camping thing. A little bit of bear is quite good, isn't it? I like it. Anyway, that's my next plan. That's my plan of what I'm going to do. Need a drink. Take a breath, Gemma. That's all my knitting that I've been doing, and all my knitting plans that are going to be happening in the future. So I've also been doing a lot of spinning. So I've actually got quite a bit of spinning to show you. I don't think I showed you any in the last episode. And the last episode was me being on a break for like 6 months. But I was spinning at the time. So I'm going to show you what I had on the spinning wheel in December. So this is what this is what I had on my spinning wheel in December. So this was what I received in my Secret Santa for the Guild December meeting. So in our Spinners, Weavers and Dyers Guild, we have a little bit of a Christmas party. We all take a gift that's for a spinner or a weaver or a dyer, and nobody's name. It all goes into a middle of a table, and we all get a little raffle ticket, and we all get to pick something. So this is the gift that I received, and it was sneakily hidden in a Weetabix box, but it was lots of bats of yarn, of fibre, sorry. It's all merino, I think, I do believe. And it went from this blue, and it was graded all the way through to the reddish red. I can't really see. I think it must be on the inside of how red it goes. I think this red here is probably as, I don't know if you can see it, guys. But yeah, so it goes from blue all the way through to red and all the purples, and all just brief goes all the way through. absolutely fabulous. It was very fun to spin. I am going to be casting on a Musselburgh hat in this yarn because I think it'll look brilliant. You'll be able to see all the way through the colour progression, and then you'll be able to flip the hat inside out. You can either have a red hat or a blue hat, and both will go into purple, so it'll be fun. So that was one of the things that I've been spinning. I've also been spinning this Falkland merino, so I'll show you this one first. So this was the very last of the fibre that I dyed for the jumper that I ended up giving to my mum. So this is 100% Falkland merino. It's a superwash that I dyed in like these sea foamy colours. There was lots of lots of like kelpie, and there was corals, and then there was this one that was more, it was supposed to be shells, and the sea and the coral a bit. Yeah, I really loved how this turned out. And I had a last little bit of fibre left in these colours, so I finished spinning it. This is a 2-ply, and the jumper that I gave to my mum, she loves it, but the collar is really quite wide, so I think I'm going to pinch it back, and with the last little bit, just pick up the stitches on the collar for her and knit it till till the yarn runs out. So I might get a nice polo neck on it for her. So that yarn is all finished and ready to go. And this yarn is the same fibre, and I was having a go at dyeing it in different colours. I've got to say, I don't really like how this turned out, how the colours turned out. So it was, as you can see, so like a brown, a yellow and the magenta, and I left lots of whiting it in the fibre when I dyed it. And I really don't like how it turned out. It's a bit barber poley. I'm not quite sure how it's going to turn out. I still feel the yarn itself feels amazing. I love this fibre. It blooms really nice. It feels fabulous when you're knitting it. But yeah, I didn't really like how this colourway turned out. So, but this was part of my experiments. There's been quite a few experiments with dyeing. But so in fact, I will show you my experience with dyeing. So I've got a really big bag, and I have dyed I had lots, but these are the ones that are left because we recently did a sale at Bradford Industrial Museum. It was the Bishop Blaze Wool Festival, and our guild demonstrated and had a sale table. So I did lots of these braids of fibre. I will show you. These are the only ones that were left, but they worked out fabulous. I really like how they all came out. So this one was a nice gradient that goes from light into the dark. This was like summery, like autumn leaves. This one was super bright. I loved how bright this turquoise turned out. And there was like a really dark grey, and I don't know if you can see. Oh, I'm bad. Yeah, and then this really cool, in fact, this was left over from the corally colour. So this is coral and shell Pacific, and it goes into a kelp colour. So, yeah. And now I have 4 of these fabulous big braids. I think what I'm going to do is pop these on Etsy. I was going to spin them and knit myself another shifty. But because I didn't get quite the cohesive, it's not like a gradient, they don't all go together as nicely as I'd like. I'm going to put these ones on Etsy on individual, so there'll be a link down below. In fact, I might do that this afternoon. So there's just 4 braids of superwash Falkland merino going up in my Etsy shop real soon. I'll pop a link down below, and if you'd like them, you can have them. Please buy them, because then I won't spin them. They're just going to go in a blanket. And with any proceeds that I'm going to get from that fibre, I will go back into buying more fibre for myself so I can knit myself a jumper out of the save. Please help me with my habits. Yeah, so as well as like dyeing the fibre, we also, part of the guild, in January's meeting at our Bradford Guild of Weaver Spinners Dyers, in the January meeting, we had Debbie Tomkes from DT Crafts come and do like a big painting sock blanks workshop with us, and that was absolutely fabulous. I had the best day. So this was my sock blank. It's a double-stranded merino nylon mix, and I think I just had to go for the rainbow gradient. So what this, if anybody doesn't know, a sock blank is obviously a knitted piece of fabric that is knit with 2 strands of yarn at the same time. And now I'll be able to just pull this out into 2 balls. Oh my goodness, it really is coming unravelled. In fact, I think that's the wrong end. Yeah, and then you can have 2 socks that are exactly the same. So that was lots of fun. I enjoyed that lots. Oh yeah, that's much easier. So that's how you can tell which end to pull it apart. So now I'll be able to, now I've shown you guys my awesome sock blank rainbow, I'll be able to pull it out and I can have 2 socks or 2 gloves or 2, but you'll have 2 matching yarns that'll be 50-gram balls each. So I'm looking forward to actually pulling that all apart. In fact, I might make that my nighttime job tonight. Ugh. Forever pulling stuff out at the minute. Just frog. No, but that was super duper fun. And then we've just had our February meeting actually. So it's been a while since I spoke to you, isn't it? We just had our February meeting and we had Tanya Bentham talking about medieval embroidery at our guild. Now, I've got to admit, I'm the one that books people to come. I'm the speaker finder for our guild. So I book all the workshops in at the minute. And I booked Tanya thinking it's going to be really interesting. I spoke to her at Yarndale, we got on really well, and she was really quite funny. I thought it'd be lovely for the guild. It was fabulous, really good. Everybody enjoyed it. We had a really good turnout at guild. There must have been 40-50 people there. And Tanya is absolutely hilarious. If you get a chance to go see Tanya's work, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I really enjoyed it. I'm loving going to guild at the minute. So I'm going to talk about it some more now as well. So in my spinning journey, like who am I? I've just started and I've just signed up to do the Spinning Certificate of Achievement Sitting Guilds through the guild. So I'm currently trying to study how to do art yarn. So within the guild you've got to, it can be from like a 2-year to a 5-year course, the Certificate of Achievement. You've got to do it. There's lots of the syllabus is quite big, but I thought I'd start with a boucle yarn. So I've never spun a boucle before. In fact, I've never done any art yarns yet. I love them, but I'm very comfortable in spinning a knitting yarn. I like to spin a jumper. I like to spin hats and shawls. I'm good at spinning a knitting yarn, but I've never really spun anything else. So within the certificate, the point is you have to design a yarn, and I don't know how to go about designing a yarn. I thought the best way to start, for me anyway, was just having a concept. What is it that you want to spin? So as you can see, well, maybe if you've been here before, I've just decorated my living room. So we've gone from just a magnolia to this little blush pink, and I've done some artwork. So this this picture is just the little sample of what I did. So this blue colour that's in the picture is actually the accent colour on the other wall. So, and this circuit board design here is one of David's designs. My, I was going to say husband, we did not get married, but my David, God, he's an electronics designer, so that's one of his designs. So I thought it was kind of fitting, we could bring it all together. So I just wanted to keep this colour palette. That was my idea with the designing a yarn. I would really, because I've decorated the living room, I put some artwork on the walls. I'd like some new cushions to bring it all together. So I thought I could design a yarn to make some cushions. I wanted to keep this particular colour palette. So we went for a trip out, me and some of the girls, to World of Wool in Huddersfield. Oh guys, it's fab. It's really, really fab. It is just a real big warehouse full of fibre, all the fibres, every single fibre. Absolutely fabulous it was. So you get every single colour of merino you could ever think of, all the different blends of fibres, lots of, all the sheep, all the silks and luxury fibre. So fabulous. Well, everything that's on World of Wool is packed there. It's their packing place. So it's open between 9 and 12 in the morning, and you can just for visitors, it apparently gets too busy on an evening with packing orders for people to go in an afternoon, but you can go in person, and they have like a huge big botany waste bin that is just so let me show you everything that I've been doing to design with my boucle yarn. I'm going to show you all the fibres I've got. So I kind of got like a colour palette going on. What did I get first? I got, so I haven't done any of this one yet. This is like a glitzy, like a super navy with some glitz. I got this, which is a bamboo blend, and it feels really, really soft and nice. But that's on the same kind of vein. Now this one went very pink. It's very bubblegum, but this is a bio nylon, just to give some, if I'm going to be designing a yarn for cushions, I really want some strength in there. So this is bio nylon. I've also got these. So this was in the botany waste bin, and I asked the woman there and she said it's the cut-offs from the merino. So this is all merino in the colourway Petal or something. In hindsight, it was probably the worst thing I could have bought. But it was so cheap because it was in the waste bin. But it literally, they cut it on the bottom and at the top. So when you're spinning it, it all of a sudden suddenly rips out from under you because it's a very sudden ending, and it's not very pleasant to spin. However, when you're doing a certificate of achievement, you have to show progression. So my progress will be that not to buy the rubbish yarn. So I'll show you actually. So this is fibre that I've currently been spinning on the Ashford Traditional. In fact, I took the whole flyer to come and show you instead of taking it off because I'm still spinning it at the minute. So it's not very, it doesn't turn out very even whatsoever. It's very overspun because just the nature of the cut that they've done. I don't know how they've managed to ruin fibre so much by cutting it, but it really did. So, but yeah, I kind of wanted that a bit of more of a thick and thin, more of a chunky, which is quite good really to say that it's so overspun. So the idea of a boucle yarn, shit. Let me start this one. Actually, one more to show you. This one is the same bio nylon as this one. And I am currently spinning this on my electric eel wheel. This stuff is fabulous to spin. So if you can see how even and shiny and absolutely luxurious. I love spinning this, and it is the strongest thread once it's spun. Like, that's a single, you should be able to pull that. So the strength that you get out of the nylon is absolutely fabulous. So the idea of a boucle is that you spin 3 on the count of 3. No, you spin 3 different yarns, plies. You have a core ply, a binding yarn, and a looping yarn. So once you spin, you need a nice, strong, thin core. I haven't done that one yet. I think what I'm going to do is do this one for the core. Then once you have a nice thin core, let me get a demonstration. That's not, I didn't get the best picture. Anyway, so, oh, you can't see it there. I've got a really bad picture of it. I wonder if I can find one online, and I'll put a picture on the screen. But you have the pink core yarn that goes all the way through. And then you have a blue looping yarn that when you ply around it, you kind of ply and then push it back up. So you're making lots and lots of loops all the way around this core yarn. And then you have a nice strong binding yarn that goes around and keeping it all into place. And it also creates extra loops as it does that. That was a very complicated way of saying I'm making some art yarn. So that is a boucle in essence. I've never done it before, but I've started and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm really hoping it gives me lots of nice big texture that I can make some cushions out of. I nearly said knit some cushions, but I think I might try weaving. I think you've got me. So because I am the speaker finder for Bradford Guild, and I can book whatever kind of workshops that everybody would like to take part in, I've booked a beginner's weavers course. Well, it's not for beginners, it's for weavers of all ages, and it's of all ages, of all levels, and it's all about colour play and how colour and within your warps and your wefts changes how you weave. But the instructor said complete beginners are welcome, so I think I might have to take part in that. But that is not till October. So there's lots and lots of scope in what I make with my boucle yarn. But because it's part of the spinning certificate, I do have to not use the yarn until I've got a display yarn, because obviously it has to go into your exhibition at the end. Yeah, so yeah, it's all been very interesting. Sorry, I did waffle then quite a lot, didn't I? But I'm really interested in it in the minute, and it really is keeping me feeling productive. So as well as doing 6 different types of art yarn within the spinning achievement, you also have to do 4 different sheep fleeces from start to finish, and a few other different fibres as well. But I've never done a fleece either. So I'm going into this a bit like I've never done anything. So it really is going to show lots of improvement within my spinning journey and in learning all these new things. But I got a message through from Cath Snape of Beechwood Crafts. Now, Cath came to do a blending course with us at Bradford Guild, and it was an absolutely fabulous day. We learnt all about blending boards, hand carders, hand blending, drum carders, dizzing, and lots of different colour play, lots of colour theory. It was an absolute fabulous day. And she is part of York's Guild of Spinners, Weavers and Dyers. So they were going on a trip to British Wool and to Haworth Scouring all in one big day, and they'd sent us a message saying that they had 2 spare places and would anybody in Bradford Guild want to go? Well, you know, I was like dived right in there. Guys, it was the most fabulous day out. In fact, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen my day out because I was so excited by it. I took so many pictures and I so I've saved it as a highlight. So if you follow me on Instagram and you want to have a little look at my British Wool day out, it was fab. I really enjoyed it. But we got taken into like a little bit of a conference room where we were greeted on the table by 2 of these fabulous West Yorkshire spinners. This is an Aaron Jacob yarn, and they did some sort of partnership marketing thing with the yarn that you got given 2 different patterns that come with it, and the idea is that you knit the patterns for the farmers that have the sheep, and you can knit them a hat or whatever, and then it goes back to the farmer. So it was like a really, really nice idea. So we got some yarn. We learned all about the wool board, the British wool board, British wool in general. It was fabulous talk. And then we got taken around and shown all if you are a farmer within the UK, you have more than 4 sheep, your wool should go to the wool board, and every single fleece that comes through is hand graded by like a big team of hand graders. They go through a big apprenticeship. It looked absolutely fabulous. And sorted and graded it into like 120 different grades, I think he said. There was like 6 main types, but it gets into 120 different categories. It was absolutely fabulous. And as we were going round, we were all chatting to him, and we'd said, you know, if, for example, we're all hand spinners, we'd like a fleece, could we get in contact with you? Can we buy direct? And he's like, oh, why? Do you want a fleece? We were like, yes, please. Well, I have never seen 14 women spread out so fast in my life. Everybody was so giddy, like super excited. So we all came home with a fleece. Well, everybody that wanted a fleece came home with a fleece. So I'd gone on a very unexpected day out, and yeah, came home with some yarn, and I got a Wensleydale Teeswater, a Wensleydale Teeswater long lustre fleece. It is very sheepy smelling. It's not as filthy as I thought it would. I would show you, but I'm not bringing it into the house right now. It's currently all sealed up and it's in the shed for now because I'm going to really need it soon. But it's freezing out at the minute and I want to be able to take lots of photographs of showing progress and showing bits and bats that I'm doing. So, and also, God, I'm just chatting about the guild constantly, but I've also booked a lady called Freyalyn. I will leave, again, lots and lots of links down below of everybody that I've mentioned. But Freya is somebody that lives close to us in Bradford, and she's coming to do a course with us in July about how to prepare the perfect fleece. So how to pick out the best bits of the fleece, how to prepare it, how to skirt it, how to clean it, and how to prepare the fleece for what kind of fibre it is. And I'm really looking forward to that. And I think that's going to be very much needed before I tackle my Wensleydale long lustre fleece. I think somebody did say to me, don't let a long wool fleece be your first fleece that you pick, and whatever. I just did it anyway. But it was the most fab day. I really, really enjoyed it. So I've been loving my fibre journey at the minute. I feel like, what's it called? I feel productive. I feel like I've got lots of inspiration. I've not got all of the all of the projects on the go at the minute. Like I say, I'm going to have like a headband, and I'm going to cast on a blanket and a Musselburgh hat. That is all knit stitches, all garter stitches. We're not going to be having any think about jumpers at the minute, but we are thinking about spinning and designing and lots of colour, and I've been doing lots of painting. So like I say, this is this little design is actually just the little trier, because I've got, I'll show you, this was one of the other ones. It's a bit huge, and I've also done another one that's this size, that's a different design, different pattern, and they're currently just kind of sat. That one just keeps getting passed around the room because I haven't finished the other one yet, and I want to be able to put them all up on the wall at the same time. Done a mirror, got this little guy. It's been, yeah, lots of decorating, and I've really enjoyed falling in love with my colour palette. It's been fun. I think now that is actually everything that I need to tell you. Oh my goodness, my jaw's hurting from how much I've been speaking. Yeah, like always guys, it has been really fab catching up with you all. I really love it when I get to sit down and chat to everybody, and you know, it actually makes me take care of myself a little bit. You know, once every 6 weeks I can shower and do my hair and make it extra curly just so I can talk with you guys. But yeah, like always, if you are all the way to the end, it's because we're besties. Can I have a thumbs up? Just a little one. Not that it means anything. I'm really not that bothered. Yeah, it's been really, really nice to spend some time with you guys. Let me know in the comments what you're working on, because actually I think I need a little bit more inspiration than just garter stitch projects that I've got going on at the minute. And I will catch you all next time. I'll see you soon. Love yous. Bye.